Gacha games at their heart are pure money-making schemes that are always marketed as free-to-play, but we all know how tempting it is to spend. Once your foot is in the door, it can be hard to leave, so before you even play Wuthering Waves, it's natural to ask, how free-to-play is it? Let's break this down into a few categories such as 1. How easy is it to pull characters? 2. How hard is the game without spending money? And 3. Is it worthwhile to even buy anything? Also, if you have a chance, consider subscribing to the channel as I'll be making a bunch of Wuthering Waves content. Currently, in Wuthering Waves, the only thing you can purchase using real money is mostly pulls for characters or extra wave plates, which is the stamina system in the game, and you can use them to run areas to farm for upgrade materials. So if you can easily buy characters, how easy is it to pull them completely free to play? Character banners have a pity system of 80 pulls with the now, unfortunately, classic 50-50 system where you can pull an off-banner 5-star, but then the second 5-star you'll pull on that banner is guaranteed to be the one you're looking for. But we're unsure if it has a soft pity system, such as Genshin, or at what point it actually starts. The weapon banner, however, has no 50-50 and it's just a 100% chance of getting the weapon that you want. There's also a 0.8% chance to pull a 5-star on either of those banners, which is 0.2% higher per pull than Genshin Impact. On launch, everyone will have a discounted new player banner that has a pity of 50 for a random 5-star character. However, every 10 pull on it only costs 8 pulls, so essentially it's only 40 total pulls for a 5-star. After you finish this banner, it'll allow you to choose a 5-star character banner of any of the non-limited current summonable characters, making rerolling not nearly as necessary as most games. This way you don't really need to summon on the standard normal banner and just hope that you get characters you like. That said, if you do want to reroll, it might take a long time similar to Genshin with a ton of cutscenes and quests, maybe minimum 30 minutes. On launch, we're also receiving 20 standard pulls, and then 10 standard pulls and 10 limited pulls a couple days after, which kind of sounds like a ton for a new gacha. Now, one really huge deal is that there's a currency called Afterglow Coral obtained every time you summon. Similar to Genshin, you can use it in the shop to buy summons, but more importantly in Wuthering Waves, you can also buy dupes of 5-star characters. This includes limited characters such as Jian. Keep in mind, however, it can only buy duplicates and not the original character outright, but this means that you could potentially save up the currency to eventually wait for a much wanted limited character and immediately get 1 to 2 dupes of the character, which is kind of huge. I'm unsure the exact comparison of how much total astrite you get from the world compared to Genshin though, but from puzzles and chests and everything combined, it appears most people are estimating it somewhere around 240 pulls minimum from the launch content, but that's if you do everything. But that adds up to around 3 full pities. Now, how hard is the game fully free to play? Well, the starting characters without pulling are Rover, Baiji, Qixia, Yanwu, and Sanhua are both from either a login or clearing an event. I probably also butchered all their names, sorry about that. The main character, Rover, is actually a really solid DPS, and during the beta was pretty popular to use. Sanhua was another popular DPS despite being a 4-star and was often used versus some of the really tough top-tier bosses. Qixia was also a decent sub-DPS, with Baiji being a support healer that also buffed your damage a bit, and Yanwu was a DPS support. The hardest content in the game is the Tower of Adversity, Depths of Elusive Realms, and the Tactical Hologram challenges. The Tower of Adversity is similar to Genshin's Abyss, where you have to fight enemies and kill them within a certain time frame for rewards, and each challenge gets harder. It has a few differences, but they're not really that huge. The Depths of Elusive Realm is a roguelite style solo character gauntlet, where you can power up using upgrades between battles. The Tactical Hologram challenges are fights versus very difficult bosses with a 5-minute time frame that become incredibly difficult as you go higher, where they learn new abilities and they become more aggressive. I can definitely say after playing over 100 hours of the closed beta test 2, that even just this beginner roster with no extra pulling should be able to clear just about all the content in the game, assuming you're adequately leveled and skilled for the challenges. Super special limited characters and tons of 5-stars are not really needed as long as you build a decent team comp that complements each other and get better at the game mechanics as a whole. Basically, get good. Even some of the hardest fights, such as the Tactical Hologram bosses, were able to be cleared while being very underleveled for the content, so being the same level should make them much more friendly. You're also able to obtain a free 5-star weapon at a later account level and multiple free 4-star weapons, so it isn't really required to roll for the best weapons all the time either in the game. Also, gearing in the game doesn't really require any stamina since you're just killing mobs mostly on the map. So not paying money shouldn't make you feel like you're at a huge disadvantage and being left in the dust. All in all, with the basic free-to-play income of the average player, they should be able to clear everything and shouldn't feel too disadvantaged. Finally, let's move on to the overall worthwhileness of spending money in the game. Well, it is a gacha after all, so all money is kind of wasted when you spend on it, but this game uses the exact same monetization as Genshin Impact, where every pack has a double bonus in the first purchase, and the $100 pack is getting you around 40 pulls, so on the first purchase you're getting around 80 total. There's also a monthly pack for $5 a month, that in total gives you around 19 pulls a month, which is a pretty good price. With the fact that they're giving out a ton of pulls at the start, have higher rates per pull, have a lower pity, and a ton of content on launch that gives astrate, I feel only the monthly pack and the first top-up bonus are really worthwhile getting from the shop for most people. The battle pass might also be worthwhile getting for the first month just to get a ton of materials and another 4-star weapon of your choice. If you want a ton of characters, that's fine, but I feel that it should be fairly easy to be free to play in the game and obtain at minimum, bare minimum, every other character with absolute worst possible luck. Since weapons are 100%, you may also be able to obtain a 5-star every once in a while for a character you really want, since in Genshin, the odds of the 5-star weapon you want is around 35% since each banner is split up into 2, and there's a chance you get a 5-star that isn't one of the banner ones, and everyone calls that a whale banner, so this is a much more free-to-play version of that style of banner. Finally, something to keep in mind is that you shouldn't try to compare yourself to others when it comes to dealing damage or completing content. It's a PvE gacha game, and the more you pay attention to the meta and what the best thing is, the less fun you may have. Tier lists of characters only matter if you find the characters fun, so be careful with being swept up into some of the hype surrounding them and then just spending everything in your wallet. Wuthering Waves seems to be a good free-to-play game overall, but whether you're free-to-play or not shouldn't matter, because at some point, you're gonna have to get good. Thanks a bunch for watching. If you enjoyed the video, don't forget to leave a like or subscribe to the channel. I also stream every day on Twitch at twitch.tv/Jenazad. I'll be playing Wuthering Waves every single day, and I'm really excited for it. And I hope to see you next time on the stream.